Once everybody in the class can tell the story, then you're ready for the fourth stage in the hear, map, step, speak process. By mapping and stepping, they've got the main plot clear. And now in telling, they practice vocalizing the whole thing, using words to describe the story as a narrative, not anymore just a set of distinct moments. This is important. It's important to learn to speak fluently, and this kind of storytelling rehearses that right from the beginning.
And then he felt a little ruffling noise in the back of his back. And then he went...
The child may remember some of the words that you told them, but they'll start to make up their own soon. This is fluent storytelling, a good rehearsal for fluent speaking. The second thing about it is that if you're teaching writing, then they are learning the words that they will want to write before they get anywhere near a pen or a pencil or a planner. So that when they get to write, they're not thinking, gosh, I can't think of anything to write, because they've already rehearsed it orally. And so when it comes to writing, fluent writing, they have fluent speech to rely on. You might want to model storytelling a second time after the stepping process. You can show how to do it in a talking pair, where one of the pair holds an object and talks for a bit, tells the story for a bit, and then passes it on to the others, so that they pass the story backwards and forwards. When you model this storytelling, make sure you start with the storyteller's voice. Once upon a time there was a hunter, so that people don't tell it in an inappropriate tense. Also, model energy and expression in your telling, so they get the idea and copy that. When you've demonstrated it a bit, then you can divide them up into 2s or 3s with a talking stick, and they have a go at telling it from beginning to end. Small groups are good because in general a smaller group creates less anxiety than a large group, and managing storytelling is all about managing the anxiety, particularly of the new storytellers. Also, at the end, practice appreciation. Once the story has been told in a small group, let them appreciate each other, their favourite bits, the things they liked about it, what they enjoyed most. When they've done it a few times in talking pairs, you might do small story circles, and after that some of the children may be ready to tell the story to the whole class. This is all good, because the more times the child hears the story, the more new ideas will emerge for what they will put into their writing when they write it. Once the story is established, appreciation of a storyteller is important with the whole class, so the whole class together can think about what are the things that worked well, and then maybe when they're ready they can start to make suggestions. I'd like to know a bit more about the character. I'd like a bit more description about that moment in the story. I'd like to really imagine it clearly when the earth sings. I'd like to really see the arrow go through the heart of the bird. Whatever the suggestions are, they all are providing material that the child can then draw on when they get to write the story. And of course, if you have somebody in the room free, they can chart up all these ideas and favourite things, so they're there recorded on the wall for when the child gets to write. That's it. Hear, map, step, speak. 4 steps to remembering. Use it to remember a story, and then you can use it for anything else that needs remembering.
Once upon a time, there was a hunter, and he saw a tree. In the tree, there was a beautiful bird, and he thought he wouldn't shoot it because it was too beautiful to shoot down. And then the bird stuck out its bottom, stuck out its wings, and went neigh, 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 neigh. The hunter was horrified. He gave the bird one last chance, otherwise he would kill it. But the bird kept on doing it, and then the hunter shot it down. Then he carried it home, and then he heard another noise. chopped it into 100 pieces and put it in a pan and made it into a stew. And then he still heard the noise, and the noise was so then he dug a hole, put the bird in.
And one of the lovely things about storytelling schools is that once the child has learnt to tell the story, maybe from a map at the beginning and then independently, they can go home and tell the story at home. They can take their map home with a little note from the teacher saying your homework is to tell this story to one of your family members. Many families love this homework. Parents love being told stories, and they're often amazed at how great their children are at telling just from a simple map. And then the parent may have a little place in the form where they send it back with comments on what they enjoyed most about listening to the story from their child. Homes are such important places for learning language, and bringing storytelling into the home in this way is a great way to do it. We have many examples of schools where once the child has brought a story home, the parents start telling their stories to their children, and the children bring those stories back into the school. In this way, language development is enriched and family life is enriched in many ways. And remember, the child is not learning the story word for word. They can if they want, but this method teaches fluent improvisation. The child finds their own words to retell the story, and in this way they practice fluent speech, not rote memory.